The mentally deficient members of our society who continue to perpetuate racism have made headlines once more, with Rian van Rooyen, head of sales at Bank Windhoek, having been suspended after he likened Rhodes student protesters to some baboons. Yep, they're amongst us. The bank has since suspended Rian van Rooyen. Look at this foolishness. This rot truly begins at home, and a little boy was recently filmed whilst calling a grown man a baboon.
Evidence.
Ja. Hallo zwarte Poebian. Hallo zwarte Poebian.
Shem, what an illuminating future awaits the spawn of racists. I spoke to the Legal Assistance Centre's Toni Hancox about this.
I've been asked to speak a little bit on the incidences of racism that have happened over the last few months. The last one, or the latest one, has been it related to the manager from Bank Windhoek. And then there was a one on WhatsApp that's been going around where a child calls black people baboons. I haven't actually confirmed that this happened now in this week or past, but we had all seen it on WhatsApp. The concern I have is that racism seems to be deeply, deeply entrenched in our societies. We do have the Racial Discrimination Prohibition Act, and this forbids any person from publicly using language to insult or threaten another on account of race. So these two incidences and the others would fall under this act. On top of that, we have the constitutional right to dignity, which I would argue deals with any right that one has. Very few complaints have been sent to the Ombudsman. There have been very few prosecutions under this act. The issue is if you are charged with racism, this has to be proven in court. This is very subjective, and it's a long-term process, and people lose interest at the end of the day. So I have these concerns that racism is so deeply entrenched within us, and we've never properly dealt with it, and perhaps that is the problem. It seems to be part of our makeup as a society. Perhaps we could talk about a tribunal or a mediation so that we can voice our feelings and emotion and how this relates to one another. Of course, everything begins with education. Perhaps the way forward would be to have a class or to have an intervention in our schools that relates to racism so that the youth can understand where we have come from and hopefully make it better into the future. Not speaking about racism has not brought us anywhere. So we need to speak out. I'm hopeful that these will be isolated incidents, but I don't think that they will be.